What's up, everyone? I'm making this intro just after my purple hammer on a house shop ball review, but this review is for the gem, especially just the regular Roto Grip gem, especially from a perspective of a two-hander that has a little bit more velocity. I shot that video about a week ago, and I just wanted to make a proper intro and just giving some thoughts, and then I'll show you some footage on the actual bowling and how it actually looks out on a typical house shot that was burning up a little bit at the time. But just quick impressions that I that is honestly my favorite ball out of the bag right now, and even though it's a very strong, one of the strongest balls being made right now, it's always kind of my first option out, just because I really like the way it looks down the lane. I like the way that it looks in general, but it's kind of predictable, and I just feel more comfortable with it. The gem has a very strong, solid cover stock and a very large asym core, which to me kind of makes it feel like not a hybrid, but a almost it feels like to me like my pearls and a solid, where how solids like to read the front parts of the lane, and when there's oil, they like to start turning very early, where and they kind of die out usually in the back end, and don't really have that sharp turn, and they tend to, when the lanes start burning up and oil starts to dissipate and get pushed down, they tend to use their energies in the front part of the lane, and therefore once the ball starts to travel down the lane, it'll start turning early, but then won't turn much towards the back end, leaving a lot of stone sevens and stone tens. But this ball kind of, like I said, it's hybrid-ish, and it's not a hybrid, but at least when I throw it and how I get my hand around the ball, that the front it likes to read early, but then it still makes a nice sharp turn down lane. Especially, I would say it does that more than any other solid that I've thrown. So that's why I kind of like it, where I can keep on moving right, and even if the lane starts burning up, I can still that big asym core allows it to turn down and allows it to strike, and allows it to get a steeper angle towards the pocket. So I kind of find this unique. Right now, it's the only solid in my bag. I do have a Nova, which is a hybrid, but I'm really starting to like to use the gem early on and use it until I physically can't anymore, and then I'll switch to something much weaker, typically a pearl, and either my Zen, or if the Zen is also starting to burn up in the fronts and become lethargic in the back, I'll then switch to something, my weakest ball, which is my Hustle, which is a entry level ball, but a very sharp down lane, and it likes to turn as soon as it hits the dry. But yeah, I hope you like the video, and you can at least get to see a different perspective, especially from a two-handed, higher velocity player. A lot of reviews I watch are mostly one-handed players and a little bit lower velocity, where I have medium revs, I would say, but I do average ball speed around 17.5 miles an hour out of the hand. So I just wanted to make a video on a different perspective of how this ball looks, especially on a house shot, but also coming out of the hand a little faster, to see that it honestly doesn't hook as much as I thought it would. That was a big fear of mine, thinking, oh, big asym, big solid asym, that it would hook a crap ton, but in reality, it's actually my most controllable ball out of my bag, and I actually prefer to use it even if the lane conditions aren't necessarily for it. I just feel most confident because I feel like it won't jump off the spot too hard, and it's just very controllable and very predictable, and for me, it gives me the largest window of margin of error. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you have any comments or any suggestions on future videos or future reviews or tips that I should make, please leave it in the comments below. But enjoy. So I'm going to try to go through 15 this time. Let's see what I can do. Not bad. Left in the oil a little too long, so let's try to move right. Get it through 15, but angle it more towards the gutter. And I was standing at 20 there, So I'm going to try to stand at 25 and see if I can angle it more towards the gutter. Stand at 25, see if I can get this a little more angular towards the gutter. This ball, by the way, I have no surface on it. This is from the box. It has a few games on it, so it's getting a bit lane shined. So a little more polished, I would say. Let's try to slow down. There we go. My best flush strike with it yet today. Try it again. Set my feet down, try to get it outside. There we go. A little too slow, but you can see just by slowing down a little bit, it definitely created more shape down lane, definitely created more angle. It came back pretty hard. You can tell that one starts rolling much earlier. It gets into its roll phase much earlier. But then it still has a lot of strength towards the back end. But some solids, once they get to the back end, have used up all their energy. Or the gem really, to me, really seems like once it gets to that back end, instead of like most solids or some solids kind of dying in the front, this one still likes to continue through the back and through the pin deck. And it's honestly not that strong. When I first got it, I thought it was going to be way too strong even for a house shot. I mean, granted, this one's a little burnt up, and I could definitely move right and still have a lot more room to breathe. But I always thought it was going to be too turny, hooking too many boards. But it doesn't. It's actually quite controllable, and I kind of like it. And it just kind of gives you, I would say, a larger window to use, in my opinion, at least for my game. It gives me a larger window to use because it doesn't use up all the energy, and it still creates motion in the back end, even if it's burning up in the fronts. From that place, I'm going to throw this in, see what a symmetrical pearl looks like on that same line. I'm going to try to throw at my normal speed for shaping's sake. Got that one out a little bit. Woo! Got that one out a little bit. Lane's getting burnt. Try to go out, but it was starting to grip way too early. Definitely a dry patch right there. Try to put my hustle through that spot. Maybe you'll actually be able to snap back. Let's find out. Yeah, well, definitely a lot more back end motion there. I didn't get as far out, but it really started to move once I got down to the drier spot. The balls I'm going to be comparing the gem to, which I mentioned, but it's going to be the original Zen, which is still out. Really good ball. A symmetrical pearl, and another symmetrical pearl, which is much weaker, but the Hustle Wine. It's an older one. I don't know if they make it anymore. I don't think they do. But this ball is much sharper. Definitely covers the most boards out of all my arsenal right now, especially in a house shot. Now let's try something a little weaker. I have a feeling this is going to try to turn way too fast and way too hard down there, and it's going to snap over and go through the face. We're going to try my hustle. Yep. Exactly what I thought, right through the face. Get that one a little in. We rode the oil a little bit more, but alright, here's another angle, a better angle, I'd say, of how the gem turns. Was not able to put that through 15. I'm trying to go through 15. try a shot again. Just to see that reaction. Get that one inside. Not a bad reaction. It really tries to turn in the front, but because of that asym core, it really tries to hook down back too. Oh no, too much out. But I wanted to come back.